Good morning, everyone. Today is October 12th, and my name is Amy Paretsky, Chair of the Design Review Committee. This open meeting of the Design Review Committee is being conducted remotely pursuant to the Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, signed into law March 29th, 2023. All members of the Design Review Committee are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. This act allows the Design Review Committee to meet entirely remotely, so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. The members of the public who wish to view the live stream of this meeting may do so by going to the Northborough Remote Meetings on YouTube via the link listed in the agenda. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. Members, when I call your name, please respond. Lisa Maselli.
I think I'm here.
Amy Paretsky, I'm here, just the two of us. Staff, when I call your name, Lori Connors.
Here.
Bob, is Bob out today?
He's not here, so I suspect he's probably sick again today.
Okay. Presenters and applicants, the chair will invite each speaker or applicant on the agenda by name to make a presentation and speak to their application. Participants will provide their full name and hold until their name is called. Each speaker will be asked to mute their phone or computer when not speaking and to speak clearly in a way that helps generate accurate meeting minutes. Those responding will be asked to wait until the floor is yielded to them by the chair. Speakers who wish to respond to the comments of others do so through the chair, taking care to identify themselves. It is now 8:35, and first on our agenda is 129 Maple Street. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome.
Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I was going to ask you how you'd want to proceed. Would you want to do, is there someone in your group that would like to present the changes since our last meeting?
Yeah, I think we should just do a quick overview. Actually, Justin, that was presenting last time, is on vacation this week, so Patrick's gonna, step in for him. So I don't know if you want to just give a quick overview, Patrick, or where you want to take it. I know there's been a few changes. Maybe just give a brief description, of the project, or I can even do it, whatever you want to do.
No problem. Thank you. So good morning, Patrick McCarty Engineering. Dave's half right. Justin's out, but he's out because he has a new baby.
Oh.
His wife gave birth last week, so he's home experiencing the joys of a first-time parent.
Yeah, definitely not vacation at all.
Not a vacation, no. So I'm filling in for him to the best that I can. He's done all the design and coordination with Dave. But if I may, I'll start by sharing my screen. Share screen, site plans, share. Okay, can everybody see those? Okay, so as you can see on the title block here, we started this back in May of this year. The revised plans are dated September 19th of 2023. The existing conditions plan has been updated to show it now as one parcel. And if you need any further information on that, Dave can certainly fill you in on the discussions with town and town council and building and assessors. But now the site is bounded on Maple Street at the bottom of the page, Johnson Avenue on the left, Omaha Street on the right. It shows the existing 2.5-story, 5-unit building that will be demolished as it was destroyed by fire and sitting there waiting for us to get through the approval so that we can demolish and move forward. The revised layout, Jay, correct me if I'm wrong, but the footprint remained the same for the proposed building. However, we did slide it further back and more centralized on the site. We initially had 2 parking fields. We now have 1 parking field with 1 curb cut in off of Maple Street. A walk from the parking lot, we have a screened dumpster pad with a fence enclosure and then a sidewalk that leads to the front door of each of the units. And then we have a back door off of each of the units that goes to a proposed patio. This represents underground stormwater improvements, underground electric. This is drainage along the front of the building, that again to an underground dry well. And then your domestic and sprinkler water services coming in from Maple Street. The existing leach field is proposed to remain, with a new 1,500 gallon septic tank being added before upstream of that. We also have a proposed bicycle rack here at the corner of the parking lot. That's our overall site plan. Landscaping plan done by Larry Green, our in-house landscape architect. He's proposing trees here along Maple Street, smaller shrubs here at the corner of the parking lot, another large tree, and then foundation plantings all along the building. If I zoom in, you could see the species that he's proposing: single Chinese dogwood, 2 Satomi dogwoods. Forgive me for butchering that. I'm not the landscape architect. Some junipers, cypress, cherries, white spruce, and arborvitae for trees. So a total of 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 12 new trees. And then a bunch of shrubs and some perennials, the shrubs being butterfly bushes and hydrangeas, some holly, bayberries, some knockout roses. So Lara, our in-house landscape architect, has put together a plan to beautify both along the street and along the front of the building. Photometric plan, we just have some lighting at the front door of each unit and a couple lights at the parking area. And these numbers indicate the foot candles, so you could see at both the street lines and the property lines. There's zeros, which shows that we don't have any light spillage off of our site onto the surrounding sites. And obviously those would be LED style fixtures. This is our erosion control and construction staging plan. Some typical construction details of pavement and P-stone diaphragms, water mains, the bike rack, everything, so Dave and his team know how to put the project together. So that's really the changes on the site plan perspective. Probably makes sense for me to stop sharing and let Jay share the architectural plans. Unless we want to pause.
Before you stop sharing, Amy, do you guys have any questions or Lori or anything before we stop sharing this specific screen?
Through the chair, I just, can you do some extra landscaping to the sides of the building, since you see it from as it's coming down the street? You have a lot in the front, which is beautiful, but can you carry some of that around? Because it's a pretty big lot. Is it just all going to be grass?
Yeah, there is some existing trees and shrubs that are there along the right and left side. We could definitely look into that. If that's something that you guys would like or like to see.
Do you have any pictures of like what it looks like now with the abutting properties? That's something we usually look at design review, is a picture of what's there now and the abutting properties.
I have some photos of abutting properties and
You do?
yeah,
I could do street view too. I'm sure would show it.
Thank you.
yeah, either way, we can review that during this meeting.
I didn't take any pictures. The building looked so bad, I didn't want any evidence.
Google had a pretty recent one. I can throw it up on the screen if you want.
Some of it actually, at least it shows the landscaping that's there.
Sure.
Right,
Do that
because
first if
something
you
in our
want.
bylaw says if you have multifamily adjacent to residential, single-family residential, there's supposed to be 25 feet in between, which you have. It also should be landscaped as a buffer, so.
Can you see the Google Earth, or am I
You
not?
want to
doing
switch
it?
screens? You want me to share, Patrick?
Sure.
You have to stop sharing, yeah.
All right, so
Okay.
I'll show. I can start with this. So this is, these are just the houses nearby. We can switch to street view in a second, but So we're here, right? That's the proposed building, which we can talk about. This is Omaha, the house on the corner. These are the two colonials across the street, right here. This one is directly across the street here. This one is a ranch right there. This one is actually a view from Johnson, but it's the house that's right here on the corner. And as far as landscape buffer, so I have a picture. I'm going to switch to the share for a second. I haven't, let's just, maybe we just switch to Google. That's probably the smartest thing to do. Just give me a sec. I had this up earlier, but didn't keep it up. But these images were from July, which is pretty scary that they can do that all that quickly. All right, so now I'm going to switch. Just bear with me for a second. All right, so there it is in all its glory right now. So the house that the one that's on Omaha has this tree and these plantings as a screen. So it's a pretty consistent screen, except at the corner. I believe we're proposing some plantings here, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then as we come down, there's a pretty good buffer on Johnson.
Yeah, those trees right there have been removed. The last meeting that we had, a few of the neighbors had expressed their concerns about the overgrowth. So I had talked to the town. The town agreed that they were 100% on my property. So I actually went and knocked on a few of the doors, spoke to the neighbors and asked them if they'd like them just to be removed, just to kind of keep the peace. And every single one of them said they wish they were removed 10 years ago. They didn't really ask for anything in return. I think they kind of like, being able to see around that corner and, have the visibility of the road being opened. But, they were very pleased and satisfied that those had been removed. I think it was an ongoing battle previous that the existing owner didn't do. And I just said, listen, if you want them down, we'll cut them down. It's not a big deal,
And the driveway is where this driveway is now. So that's where you're going to be bringing the driveway in.
Very similar location, right?
Yes.
The one thing you might want, I don't know where you, like in relationship to this, to the other graphic to show where the plantings are, but Maple Street is slated to get a sidewalk coming down from Peasley to go to Algonquin once the complete streets is finished. So you might want, and that's probably the side that they're going to be putting it on. So you want to set.
Yes, through the chair. So we do have the landscaping proposed along the frontage, but it's on Dave's property. It's not within the right of way, and there is quite a bit of distance from the right of way to the existing edge of pavement, certainly enough to fit a sidewalk on town property. For example, that utility pole and the guy wire that supports it, that guy wire is roughly the right of way line. So the property line of Maple Street. So you have from the edge of pavement at the grass to that guy wire to put the sidewalk. So it likely would go in between the pole and the guy wire anchor.
Or on the other side of the street.
Yeah. So I guess my question, it's not a big deal, but for Lori is generally, if you're trying to put sidewalks on roads, are you putting sidewalks on the power side of the road? I would think, you would think it would be easier on a non-power side, but I don't know, town, I guess makes that decision, but neither here nor there, we're definitely far away from the right of way.
As far as I know, there is no design for Maple Street sidewalk. So it's on the prioritization plan list for the
Okay.
Complete Streets program. But as far as I know, it's unfunded at this time and it has not been designed. So it could be on this side of the street or the other side of the street. But it's also subject to funding.
a great question though from Lisa, because you would hate to plant the trees just to have to cut them down. You know, when
Agreed.
it gets funded.
And so in the meantime, though, you'll redo the grassy area on the roadside though, right?
Correct.
Once you get it done, because it's been kind of you'll be the flagship of the neighborhood at this point. So I think that's a great place to be. You can start to set some standards that I
Why
know.
not start with a better candidate?
Say again?
Said, why not start with a better candidate?
Yes. So, okay.
So if we switch back.
Hmm.
So I just to look at context, because we're going to talk about the building, right, and the detailing of it. So if this is meant to show context and scale with nearby structures. So the idea is to, create a house that's very similar in height and style to the buildings around it. So I feel like that's what we've done. The gables are complementary to the adjacent buildings, as are the colors proposed. So if I could switch quickly to the proposed. So here's a kind of a listing, and then I'll switch to the elevation page with a little bit more information, but I put together a summary of the finishes that we're proposing. So the siding is a vinyl clapboard siding, 4-inch exposure, pretty standard, which is identical to the nearby buildings. Roofing, kind of a standard architectural shingle, dark color, which will be a nice contrast. It'll look really sharp. The decking composite, I'm thinking a brown to complement the tan, but that's certainly up for discussion. And white trim and white columns with a little bit of detail just to give it some life. The one nice thing about the original building, I think, obviously it's shadow of its former self, but it was originally a pretty sharp looking building with some detail. And we're trying to bring some of that back, I think. I mean, it's going to be a nice building. We want to make it attractive. And so on the exterior, the idea is to, as you saw from and I think we've talked about this last time, essentially create 5 similar elements, but it's one building. And I think that's one thing that was a little bit, I don't know, that we need to stress with zoning. I mean, because it was a building, it was a single 5-unit building before. It will be a single 5-unit building again. And it'll just have the appearance, since we're going to do 5 individual front doors. It's just going to look a little different, but it's the same concept. So here's the siding. I think the tan is really sharp, along with, as I mentioned, a little bit of nice detail with the columns. And then this over here is a sprinkler room. We're trying to make that not necessarily disappear, but not be prominent. And hopefully this is a way to do that. We bring the scale down a little bit. We give it a door that's similar and complementary, but not as prominent or interesting. Then if we scroll over to, the windows, we're planning on kind of a standard double hung window, not charcoal white. I'll fix that. And then the decking, not wood, but wood looking. I think that would be attractive and would work nicely with the color scheme proposed. But, we're trying to not make this a maintenance thing. We want to make it fairly simple to live in and maintain. Trex has a really nice product that does that. And then, as I mentioned, the architectural shingles, black or similar color. And white corners and white trim, white gutters and downspouts, pretty standard materials. So that's the front elevation. The side, as I mentioned, is and I believe in the site plan, I noticed this is slightly off center. We need to coordinate that with the utility installation. So I don't know, Patrick, what do you think? Is it going to be closer to the street than what's shown here?
No,
Something like that.
I think that could slide back and forth.
Okay.
As needed. I think what's important to show is there's no, that's the side that faces Johnson. So no windows, nothing intrusive going towards the neighbors on that side.
Correct, yes.
So if that
exactly.
block slides back and forth to meet the utility design of the inside of the building, I don't see that it has any measurable effect on anybody else.
Sounds good, and it's gonna be screened with some landscaping. So
Yep.
that'll help too. We want to make the front of the building where people are gonna be living, the entrance to their homes, attractive and make it pop, but not this thing, so then we go to the next page, which is the other side elevation, similar. We're trying to make it not intrusive to the neighbors on Omaha. And then the back, similar to the front, give it some pizzazz, but not overly so. And the same finishes and the same pattern of windows and doors.
Okay.
Nice and clean and simple.
Can you, if I can interrupt for a second?
Mhm.
And for both sides of the buildings that you're not letting light or intrusiveness in, you could put artificial, what looks like windows, or even a little arch on the corner high areas, and then put a couple of windows as it comes across, just so it looks like a home and not like a trailer. So you don't have to put, it can just be a facade of piece. And I'm sure that, and certainly with antique houses, we did it all the time. There'd be windows that went into the building that balanced, but there wasn't anything on the other side of it. So I think when you have it, certainly in that kind of a neighborhood, when you have both sides just being so blank, driving up and back doesn't look as lovely as it might. I mean, you've really got a lot to work with, and I think that would help to enhance that. So, moldings are quite important, as you know. And this looks like it, if you're going to start to do some nice molding work, I think that can only help with that. And then my other question too is, can we change the vinyl to hardy board? Because vinyl is kind of it's a tough material as time goes on. And
Makes sense to me. What do you think, Dave?
I mean, the only thing I'm not crazy about, hardy board. I mean, I have it on my house. It just moves a lot with being a New England product. With the expansion and the summers and the winters, we all know that it moves. And that's my only concern about it. Although the vinyl, I will agree with you, doesn't look as great. Longevity, cleaning it, maintaining it, and having a product that's durable to last. I think vinyl goes the longer run and looks cleaner. Hardy plank seems to me like more of a maintenance nightmare. And like I said, I built my house and I was all excited to put hardy plank on it. And with the hot days and the cold days, it's just been an ongoing issue. But we can look into it. I mean, it's not a deal breaker. I mean, it is what it is,
All right. I mean, I'd appreciate that, because it's just, I mean, now you see a lot of it with the blue and white, this really strong contrast. It's pretty awesome. But I really, really how you
I mean,
build.
the other thing is we are trying to match existing to the neighborhood. Every neighbor to the north, south, east, and west has, vinyl, although I think 130 and 136 might be a wooden finish. But like I said, we can take it into consideration. It's not a big deal.
Right, and the fact that all these houses were built a lot more in the past.
Yeah,
Vinyl was prevalent and hardy board wasn't around.
right.
You know, you're starting with a new structure, again, you're bringing in new life to the neighborhood, and I think that, that's, you know, you've got a great piece of land, you could really make a good statement that way, and I think
Okay.
something to think about.
So the elements that you're talking about on the sidewalls, that's a good suggestion. Could we match the moldings and have panels where windows would be? Is that what you're thinking, or
Yeah.
actual windows and screen them somehow? I mean, what is there?
Well, you can, I mean, I think they make moldings that you could put on, buildings just to make it look that way. I'm sure they
They
do.
definitely do. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
And even when you're thinking about it with the new styles, I mean, you could take where your gutters are and you could put a wide piece of molding going front and back, north and south on that building. At that point, that would give you a break there.
Like a freeze board, basically.
And then you could also, I mean, I know that hardy board comes in more than just the you know, standard pieces. You know, you've got clapboarding and you've got cedar shingling and that sort of thing. That again gives it a little punch. So there's just so much out there that now you can have fun with, where, you know, 1980s, you had orange carpeting and not so much to work with. So, but I do think, and you know, it's also going to be, like I said, it's going to be a flagship there. So why not make it? It's only going to make everybody else go, wow, look at that. I am really impressed.
I wish I said that about all my other properties.
Well, you did a nice job next to Dunkin' Donuts. So,
It only took a year.
but
What do you think, Dave? You think we can make it pop a little?
Yeah. No problem. Between Lisa's comments and my wife's comments, I'm sure we can come up with something.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Now, did the design show patios out back or no?
Want to switch back to the site plan, Patrick?
Sure.
Yes, and I did see there was a comment, I don't know if it was from Lori or not, but I think they just forgot to add back patios, but the front walkway and the back patios will all be made out of the same paver stone. I'm not gonna do concrete or stamped concrete, gonna do a paver patio.
Okay, that's great.
And are they rails? So what is it? 4 steps high in the front, the doorways?
Roughly. We can do it with 1 landing and 2 steps,
1 landing and 2 steps.
2 treads.
All right, so you don't have to worry about railing and people coming down.
Right.
And are the pads in relationship, so you've got a slider and you've got a small pad. Is that grass that's going to be next to each one of those? Or are you going to have a fence go up, or what's going to give them the privacy when they go to the back patio?
No, in between each unit, there won't be any privacy. It'll be just just open, and you know, want to bring back you know, individuals talking to each other, not hiding from their neighbors.
Sometimes that works. And now I don't see much in the landscaping behind. Is that because it's not on here? So do you have any landscape going behind it?
No, there's those large shrubs that the gentleman that lives in both the houses abutting had asked me to leave there. So I talked to him and said, yeah, we can leave them there. I said, I can put up a fence. I can do whatever you want. I said, you're the abutter. Just tell me what you want to do. And they said that they like the shrubs back there. And I said, all right, just leave them. It's not a big deal to me.
I agree with that. Screening is wonderful, but I'm talking around the building, because again, you're looking at a piece that gets seen from 3 different streets. So as you're coming back, again, you're making this, you know, more of a attractive look. So in getting some of that to also come around, because when you'd have a house, normally you bring your stuff around so that it's just a full piece and not just a front piece. So even on the corners or coming back to the northeast, the northwest areas, it would be nice to put a little, a little something. Normally you see the landscaping and well, of course, Dave, with all the little curves and such where you have mulch and things of that nature, just to give it a little bit more.
Yeah, we could throw, back there, break it up. We could throw, half dozen or so, trees with some, 4 foot or 5 foot radius, mulch beds, just to kind of give it a little bit of a, break it up a little bit and get some growth back there. That's not a big deal.
Right, and new grasses, put some grasses in, they grow pretty quickly, but they're pretty manageable too.
Right.
Not that
Remember, we're setting the standard here, so I figured trees are better than grasses.
well, both, a combination. I think you have to limit one to the other. But at least you've got dogwoods, those are beautiful. There's
Yeah,
much you can do with this that, nobody's built in this neighborhood for how many years? So it might be the start of people then deciding to increase the size of their homes or that sort of thing, which is happening.
okay.
Do you have any other questions, Lisa? Or
Uh,
comments?
Well, we've got some landscape. We've talked about changing the hardy board. We've talked about, making the sides a little bit more attractive for their facades. Is this something that you can then bring back and show us? I hate to make it come back again, but it would give us a better indication of, what we're really seeing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal. You guys seem like you're pretty easygoing. If you want us to throw a couple trees in there and bring something back, it's not a huge deal. We can just discuss the changes you want now, and I can just say yes or no if you'd rather that.
Well, I think it and it makes people even more excited to know that there's going to be what we're doing and this is what it looks like. So, especially I know in my head what I see, and and
Yeah.
I can't.
So what are the major concerns? Some shrubs out back, some shrubs and trees,
Yep, and then
and the hardy plank.
the hardy plank, and then the sides. We've talked about, because you could have a couple of different ways of going with the sides. I don't know. Jay and I are like, maybe that's I like that, but deciding on, you could put maybe judging from the size of the plan, maybe either a curved window, arched window on the tops, and the bolt, what you saw, the frieze board, and then maybe 3 windows or 3 fake windows. But you can do whatever you like. The type of door that you have, which has got the lights above, which is that style, carry that style around the sides, so it kind of goes together.
I don't think, Jay, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think the windows on each side have to be fake. Why wouldn't we just?
We could do real windows if you
Real
want. Yeah, it's just, we don't want to open up the building to the neighbors necessarily, but yeah, they don't have to be fake.
Okay,
And units could be different than the middle ones.
to get a little bit more for them.
Yeah. All right, Dave. Sure.
Whatever. I don't care if they're fake.
Yeah,
real.
so we could do on the right side, we have the stairway towards the front. So better would be to have the windows towards the back on the first floor, which also is that'll help with our placement, Patrick. That'll help with our placement of the sprinkler room. So maybe towards the center is ideal, or maybe towards the front where you have it. I just think it'd be nice to buffer it as much as we can. I don't know if you guys agree with
Sure.
that, but it seems like it should not be very visible if possible. And so towards the back, we could do a couple of windows. on both sides, and then, something on the second floor as you're suggesting, Lisa. Something a little more decorative or interesting.
And then, I mean, each side doesn't have to be identical because you've got a door and a box on one side. The other side's quite wide open. So, as I say, put a couple of pieces of landscaping too to kind of carry that up. So they look more like a home. I mean, I think that's the whole idea. You're in a totally, little neighborhood of homes. So even the two buildings across the street that are colonial are obviously two families, but don't look like two families. So I think, as I say, I mean, you're the flagship. You're starting out with a whole new look for 2023. So
Yeah, it's only money. It doesn't matter. All right.
All right, so while we're doing this, I'm just gonna go through Lori's comments. Starting at number 9, had to do with design review. And it talked about pictures of adjacent and exterior materials. We already talked about that. So I think we're good there. And then number 10 was addressed. Number 11, it just says to add in the construction materials for the patio, which you said you do. Lori had mentioned just to add it to the site plan for the patios. Okay. 12 had to do with the parking lot. Lori said that was addressed. 13 addressed. 14 is the dumpster.
Address.
Yep. $15 has to do with LED. Lori, did you get the cut sheets for the LED lighting?
No, not yet. So if you could just send that along, you should be able to download them online and just forward those to me.
So we'll see what lighting you're going to use, right? The lights on the side of the house and such. Okay. If you need a decorator, you've got my number.
And 16 had to do with parking spaces. That was addressed. Is there anything else, Lori, from your letter for design review that you feel needs to be addressed?
No, the comments about the landscape plan looks like pretty much addressed. I hadn't been to the site, so I didn't realize those arborvitaes had been taken down since I was last there. So that's good. And the only other question that I had was the existing gravel driveways. So you have a gravel driveway off of Johnson Ave. So are you gonna loam and seed that?
Off of the one off of Johnson Ave, yes.
Okay. And then it looks like on the plan that you are keeping the bituminous apron for the other driveway that was on
No,
Maple Street.
no, it'll just be the one new parking lot.
Okay, so could you update the site plan and just clarify what you're doing with that driveway? Because it's still showing on the plan.
Right, it's showing a screen because it's existing. That's why it's gray and not bold. So I'll just add a note.
That would be great. And if you could add the note to the other one on Johnson, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. So if you want to meet, Lisa, you want to meet one more time? I think should we try to do it next week because they're in front of the ZBA in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And I mean, I can meet next Thursday, but it has to be quick because I have an appointment at 10. So, and it should be pretty quick. So you think maybe, I don't know, Lori, if you can meet next Thursday? Or Lisa, if you can meet next Thursday?
Well, I have to leave here at 10:30. So,
I have to be out before 10.
yeah,
So I think if it's 8:30, we should be done by 9 latest. Because
okay.
it seems like we're just wrapping up.
I'm available on Thursday morning.
Is Blue Water team available next Thursday morning, 8:30 to 9?
I'm always available. Oh, here we go. Getting ready to say goodbye.
Yeah. Nice of you to join us, Dave.
We love you, but we're not starting over.
And
All right, so that sounds good. I think we got a couple notes. We'll go back to the drawing board. We'll, you know, go over some things and see if we can come up with some stuff for next week and get this closed out.
Sounds like a plan.
even the coloring, you know, you don't have to blend in with everybody else's color. You can come up with your own
Okay,
nice contrast. So I
I
know,
don't know. I like the brown. You might have a big pop of bright blue.
you know, I mean, there's some really nice hardy board colors out now that are,
Yeah, it's up to you guys.
so. I mean, I know they did a house on Church Street over that was just a tiny little shed, closer to 290. And it's beautiful. I mean, they've done a nice job over there. I can't even think of the address, but as you drive through, you notice it. Like, oh, it's right next to the yellow antique, on to the Northville Oil.
yeah, the Maney's property on the left. Yep, yeah, we did some work over there.
That was quite nice. I was in that little shack going, oh, that was.
Yep,
Okay.
All right, thank you very much. That's wonderful. Have a
all
nice.
right. If you guys are looking for applicants to fill in for Dario, let me know.
We are.
The team, I'd be more than happy.
You know some, oh yeah, we need some architects.
Yep.
Does
All
Jay
right.
live in town?
No,
He's
Oh.
happy, shaking his head. No.
no.
Do you know any architects in Northborough? We need a couple.
I know one that, yeah, yeah, well, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, we can ask around.
You
That'd be
hear
good.
that? You hear that, Dave? They don't want two landscapers on the board, just architects. All right, sounds good. Thank you,
All right.
guys.
Bye. Have a good day.
Laura,
Thank you.
Michelle will send up the information for next week, times and everything.
Absolutely, we will. So 9 AM start time.
Did we say 8:30?
8:30. Hoping to be done by 9.
All right. Don't go too crazy on those plans, Jay. You know, we're on a budget as well, you know.
We'll work together. We'll get there.
All right, thank you.
All right,
All right,
thank
thanks.
you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
You guys.
Bye.
So Dave, you're just here for minutes. I think that's all we have left. Because Lori, I haven't had time to I started going through the sign bylaw, but I'm not there yet.
I'm just, no problem. As long as I have signal, I'm good.
There you go.
So I had I only read through the July 13th minutes and I had a couple changes. I don't know if anyone had time to read them or you want me to share it really fast.
Why don't you share it fast and we'll get.
Yeah,
done.
go for it.
Okay.
I bet you Dave doesn't have it in front of him.
No, I don't.
Unless it has a worm on it.
Okay, so can you guys see what I just shared? Okay, so the real only change I had was for 343 Hudson Street, it said Ms. Paretsky confirmed the plans, but it was really Ms. Maselli, so I changed it to Lisa. And then Lori, did that word you wanted to be overlapping?
Yeah, I didn't write these up, but
Yeah.
that makes sense that it
I just
should-
want to make sure I didn't I didn't change any word.
No, I think that's right.
And then Lisa made a motion to draft the memo. All were in favor of the memo listing the recommendations for the design review committee. Should the SBGA approve the special permit? I just added that part in. And then I just changed some wording. To make it, I wanted to say where we're bringing the applications forward to.
Okay.
So it's just a couple of small things.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you had any changes or concerns with my changes.
Looks good.
all right with it.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Well, do I have a motion to approve the July 13th Design Review Committee minutes
Okay,
as
so
amended?
Second,
there you go.
Okay, roll call vote. Lisa Maselli,
Aye.
Dave Varon,
aye.
and Amy Pretsky's an aye. And Michelle is working on the August minutes, and then we can do I didn't have time to go through the September minutes actually, so I just wanted to get July done since it's October.
Good idea.
All right. So Dave, I don't know when you'll be back, but we're gonna meet really fast with 129 Maple Street next Thursday from 8:30 to 9.
That's fine. As
It should-
long as I have signal, I'm good. I won't be back for probably, it'll take me about 20-something days to get down there, so,
Oh,
and then I'm
okay.
flying back.
All right.
So it should be good. I mean, again, as long as I have signal, it's just, we're now back off the coast, so we have signal again. So,
All right.
when I go far out, we don't. So it just depends where we're at.
They're really small changes, so if you can't do it, that's fine too. They're really. He's just adding a couple windows and a couple trees.
Yeah. So yeah, and from what I remember, there's a walkway in the front, and just going on memory here. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Dave, be careful of that Bermuda Triangle, huh?
We're trying to outrun a storm that's coming into New York right now.
You bet.
But yeah, no problem.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything for today's meeting?
No, I make a motion to
To
close.
adjourn?
There you go, adjourn. There you go. Good word.
Second,
All right. Roll call vote. Lisa Maselli,
Aye.
Dave Varon,
aye.
and Amy Pretsky's and I'll see you guys next week at 8:30.
Thanks.
All right.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.